Globalization is rebooting itself in all sorts of ways. A lot of the Global South is acquiring agency.
We need to change because of climate. We need to change because of digitalization. But we need that transition from here to there to be fair for everybody.
Care is fundamental to the economy. We're never going to get to gender equality until we fix the broken structure of care.
We cannot work in isolation. Interdisciplinarity is vital to tackle today's big challenges.
We have to make the right choices, whether it comes to finance, whether it comes to innovation and technology, whether it comes to governance.
And we see that happening in all parts of the globe. We have to coordinate policies and efforts to make sure that we can protect the most vulnerable.
The nature of the task at hand is immense. We need all hands on deck.
أصحاب المعالي، أصحاب السعادة، يسرني أن أكون معكم مرة أخرى. لقد انصرم 15 عام.
And just see what we have achieved. Those global future councils have become a major global force, a systemic force, integrating all dimensions of life to shape the future. And I want first to thank our hosts for the great hospitality which we find here since so many years, and the generosity of Dubai makes this meeting possible. So a great thank you. Everybody would agree we never have lived in such turbulent times. There are deep transformations happening, and I just want to mention 4. And those 4 transformations are conflating, which means each transformation is influencing the other ones. The first one, of course, is the transformation or transition from a unipolar, stable world to a multipolar, very unstable, very conflictual world. The second transformation is the need to move into a green world. And I'm speaking here not only about climate change, I'm speaking here about a new relationship with nature, preserving our oceans, preserving soil, preserving our forests. The third transformation which is happening is certainly what I would call the technological, the intelligent transformation. We are moving from the industrial world into the intelligent world. And the Global Future Councils will help us very much to shape the next annual meeting in Davos, which has the title, actually, of Cooperating for the Intelligent Age. The intelligent age will change what we are doing, how we are living, how we are communicating. It will change government policies, and it will change business models. Now, the 4th transformation. Before I describe the 4th transformation, I would like to ask you a question, you in the audience, and please respond in all honesty. Who of you believes that the future will be better than the past? And who feels that the future will be worse than what we are experiencing now? Your Highnesses, Minister, I have to congratulate you, because when I asked this question, most of the people in most countries would have an overwhelmingly negative approach related to the future. Here you see the spirit of we can construct a better future. But if people believe that the future will not be better, then the basic narrative of humankind always to prepare for a better future is lost. And I think this is one of the biggest dangers which we have in the world. And therefore the importance of those councils. Because if we want to believe into the future, if we want to have hope for a better future, we have to design this future. And this group is ideally mandated to help to do so. And when we design the future, we should not forget that today political, economic, social, environmental and technological issues are interrelated. And I think one of the uniquenesses of what we are doing here is the fact of this interdisciplinary approach. So we meet not only in our own councils, we meet across the councils here to produce meaningful results. I know that you will have, and I hope, 2 or 3 days of intensive work. I know you will have an impact, and I thank you. And I would like now to ask His Excellency Minister Mohammed Al-Argawi, the Minister for Cabinet Affairs for the United Emirates, to address us. Minister.
Good morning. I'll be speaking in Arabic. If your headset, please.
Your Highnesses and Excellencies, members of the Global Future Councils, distinguished guests, peace be upon you all. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the annual meeting of the Global Future Councils, where we gather today with futurists, leaders, experts, entrepreneurs who shape the future of global development across various sectors. We gather here today to design a better future for humanity, and we cannot shape the future without analyzing and understanding the present. Recently, in the past decades, our collective conscious has developed a set of beliefs that have gradually become convictions that helped us build our reality and devise our plans and predicted our futures. These convictions are economic, political, social, and environmental. Today, we found ourselves surrounded by events, developments, and rapid changes that shift the balance, redefine convictions, and challenge the once immutable truth. One undeniable fact becomes clearer every day, which is self-evident convictions that we once held are now subject to scrutiny. Ladies and gentlemen, in our quest to grasp the essence of our reality, allow me to share with you 3 convictions that may longer be valid. The first conviction: we thought that as the world becomes more interconnected, prosperity would flourish and conflicts would diminish. For decades, we have believed that the global policies and politics operated according to a set of predictable criteria. a stable world order based on alliances, treaties, and well-established powers. We used to think that economic integration would reduce wars and military confrontations, and that economic gains would outweigh the ideological and political disputes. Yet, today we bear witness to profound shifts in the global system, both economically and geopolitically, that challenge this conviction. The economic integration is the cornerstone of political stability, the global interconnectedness that open borders for capital trade and human migration has also given rise to social tensions, amplifying populist sentiments and increasing societal divisions. This also led to conflicts and wars that we are witnessing today in the region and the world. Ladies and gentlemen, alliances and power dynamics are no longer steadfast. Even international institutions that we once thought were unshakable now face unprecedented challenges. The lines delineating friends from foes, we cannot really differentiate friends from foes. These lines have been blurred. We are in an area beyond political predictions. Ladies and gentlemen, today, thanks to technology, you can answer my question about the universe, any question about universe, about space, science, or history in less than a third of a second. This unprecedented technological development has expanded human horizon and ignited our curiosity beyond what was once thought possible. Technology has transformed education, health, mobility, communication, finance, and media. The question here today is, has humanity truly progressed? Is the world today more humane and advanced? Are families happier? Communities across the world are more connected? Have we really reached the pinnacle of human civilization? What about the 1/3 of the world still living in digital darkness? What about the misinformation and growing polarization along with the rising tide of global depression and isolation? What about the erosion of privacy and surge in cyber crimes? What about the escalating use of technology as a weapon in conflicts? Is this conviction still valid? Has humanity truly advanced? The third conviction is that the environmental concerns hinder economic development. For decades, the world has hesitated to address the environmental challenges of climate change, prioritizing economic development above all else. It seems that protecting the environment and economic growth were at odds. However, recent years have revealed a different truth. Sustainability and environmental protection can be real drivers of economic growth. The market value generated by green economy exceeds $7 trillion, making it the second fastest growing sector next to technology. Distinguished attendees, now we understand that sustainability and economy can thrive in harmony, and that sustainable economic development is intrinsically linked to environmental protection. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, many convictions have changed. The only constant conviction we recognize every day is that there is no constant in life. And the primary measure of success for nations, communities, and individuals is agility and adaptability. Governments must place continuous change and openness to new ideas at the heart of their strategies. And nations must cultivate this essential trait within their societies. Your Excellencies, Your Highnesses, distinguished guests, we hope that we kick off these meetings with the aim that they would serve as a serious platform to reflect on these convictions and reshape the beliefs that guide our future. For those who master adaptability will master the future. Wishing you all great success in your endeavors. Thank you, and peace be upon you all.
Your Excellency, you have provided an excellent framework for our discussions over the next days. May I follow up with one or two questions? The first question relates to the role of governments. We have here with the Vision 2031, you have a clear framework, but what is actually, and I congratulate you for having such a visionary approach, but what is actually the role of governments?
Very simple. The role of government, it's designing a better future for a society in a short term. But Professor, we live in a very unique time in human history. Humanity is changing. A couple of 100,000 years ago, we discovered fire. It gave us warmth, but also changed the way we digest food through changing the enzyme. It gave us better capability. It was part of our evolution. Today, and it took that took hundreds of thousands of years. Today, we live in an era where human civilization is changing in the next 30 to 50 years. And the change wouldn't take hundreds of thousands of years. It will take few years. So our role as a human, as government, is to get our society, our education system, our healthcare system ready for the changes. Today, we have huge capability as government and as society and as humanity. We have knowledge that our ancestors took them thousands of years to build, to learn. Today, we get it in a fraction of a second. So the role of government in the next phase, it's very important. If we design a better future, we'll have a better society. And as I stated in my speech, today we live in a very early stage when it comes to really technology, very early. We are like in first or second of technology. So evolution that will take place will be totally different from whatever we've seen. Are we ready for it? Our society ready for it? Our government ready for it? So always I stated something, our role as a minister, as government official, we are designer. They should take the title minister from, I think, every single minister across the world and put designer. Our job is to design a better future for our society and for the world.
Your Excellency, you have a clear vision for the country. But when we look at these regions, there are certain concerns. How do you see the future of the region, actually?
I'll try to simplify my answer. We need to decide, do we want to live in the past or we want to live in the future? All the conflict of our region is based on the past. All of it. It's very important to understand our history because it does reflect in our present. But very important to move to the future. And the leadership in the United Arab Emirates have decided that. We want to move our society to the future. We want to design a better future for our people, but also with a value within this. Technology is important, economy is important, but building society is very important. Creating hope is very important. We live in the Middle East, and sometimes part of the problem in the Middle East is young people, they don't have hope. So whatever we do, we have a philosophy in it. It's how can we build hope for young people? How can we create young people that can reach places that others are struggling in the region? So our job was really throughout the past 50 years is how do we move to the future? How we design a better future for us? Is it doable? It is doable. I mean, just walk outside this auditorium and look at the future. You see it in the Emirates, you see it in our city, you see it in our people. You don't see only that, but you see the most important element in the future, which is how do you integrate different nationality, different religion, different race in one single country in peace and harmony without a single conflict. And that's part of the future. For us, we are really obsessed with the future because we know the past in this region and history of this region always will create conflict. It's important to understand it. We understand history very well. We understand history very well to the point that we have decided that we want to move to the future and we want to move to the future quite fast. Thank you, Professor.
Minister Gargawi, you had with the, I have to highlight that what we are doing here with the Global Future Councils, of course, it has had a great impact on many of our own initiatives, but you were serving as a kind of sandbox for many of the initiatives which were developed here by the Global Future Council. So I just want to assure what you are doing is not of a theoretical nature. It has a very direct local, national, and also global impact.
Always I thank you and I thank the forum for whatever we learn. I've been in the forum for the past 22 years. You know, I'm one of the few people that stay that long, and we learn so much for us. And the good thing with the Future Council, we have 30 council here, we learn from it. And what we do, we go and implement a lot of ideas that's suitable for us, and that's very important, I think so, in designing country, designing economy, designing society. The world have changed. And there is a beacon of hope in the heart of the Middle East. And this beacon of hope in the heart of the Middle East, you can call it, you know, the United Arab Emirates, you can call it the young people of this region, but our job was always, I know it's hard, it's a lot of work, but can we change the narrative of the Middle East? Can we create brand out of the Middle East? Can we create beautiful city in the Middle East? Can you have safety and security in the Middle East? And let me tell you, we are one of the most secure country and safe city in the world, one of the top 3. These are important. This is how we change narrative. This is how we learn. So, Professor, I've been talking a lot. I heard your speech. You talk about, you know, the intelligent age. What does make the intelligent age different than AI? Can you elaborate?
I think artificial intelligence is a driver for this intelligent age. But we should not forget there are other technologies, quantum computing, the metaverse, and I could go on, and all those technologies reinforce each other. They are not isolated. They are in some way part of a complete new approach which we will have to find or which will be offered to us. I'm a big believer in the opportunities those technologies offer. But we have to be aware, it's similar to the transition when we moved from an agricultural society to an industrial society. We are moving now from an industrial society to what I call an intelligent society. And the difference is when we had the last transition, we had several generations' time to adapt. Now, the adaptation has to be done, and certainly should be done, in the next 10 to 15 years, because the technological development has gained exponential speed. We should not forget, artificial intelligence was around since a long time, but it's actually only since 2-3 years that we really talk about it and just see what impact it already had. So what we want to do in Davos and starting here is to get the integrated picture, and particularly what is the impact on society and how has society to prepare itself. I just say, mention maybe 1 or 2 areas. One area is the reskilling and upskilling. We don't know yet what the effect will be. We have a Global Future Council on the future of work, which will enlighten us. But there will be a huge reshifting of the workforce, with also political implications, because it affects particularly the higher middle class. So then, of course, we have the whole issue of creating the ethical boundaries around those technologies, because artificial intelligence can not only be predictive, it can become prescriptive, and it can become prescriptive in an uncontrolled way. So many issues where we have to find solutions for. But I just come back, we never should forget, those technologies are not a threat to humankind. It depends on us how we deal with those. But they can help us, A, to solve many of the existing problems, particularly in the environmental area, and B, look at the, I compare it with the invention of the book of printing in the 14th century. It enabled at that time what we call the Renaissance, a new, very flourishing time in the arts. And I feel that this intelligent age will allow us to develop even more our human capabilities of creativity, of empathy, of human feelings. So we should approach what we are shaping with a very positive attitude, and as you said, with hope for the future.
Thank you, Professor. We talked about challenges. What are the 3 foremost challenges for humanity, Professor?
I think we are also for the first time in a situation where humanity could destroy itself. I mean, we have the nuclear issue. People speak again about atomic bombs and so on. We have the environmental issue. And we have now the technological challenge, creating boundaries, railguards around, particularly around artificial intelligence. So the key challenge for humankind, and that's where the forum stands so much for, is global cooperation. We are all members of the same global community. We have to address those issues. We have to find solutions before it's too late. So global cooperation is the biggest, to restart and to reinvigorate global cooperation on those issues is probably the biggest task which governments at the moment have.
Thank you, Professor. It's always enlightening to hear from you, and we thank the Council for their effort in designing and shaping a better future for humanity. We'll take 1 minute just for their highnesses to leave, then we'll continue the next session with our guest. Thank you, Professor. Thank you.
Please remain seated for the upcoming opening plenary session.